In today's video, we will visit a cemetery that was originally established in 1095. It is St Michan's Church and Cemetery. Inside the church there is an organ dating back to 1724, which is still in use today, and its original wooden gallery. Legend says that George F. Handel played the St Michan's organ when composing the Messiah. The graveyard contains a number of underground vaults that contain the mummified remains of some of Dublin's most influential families from the 17th to the 19th centuries. The remains of a 6.5-foot man who is believed to have been a crusader, and the 400-year-old body of a nun are among those who are at rest in the vaults. The vaults have become popular among tourists who are accompanied by a tour guide and regaled with the history of the departed. Today we will look for the grave of Oliver Bond. Born in County Donegal in Ireland in 1762, the son of a dissenting minister, Oliver Bond had connections to a number of respectable families. He relocated to Dublin and became a merchant in the woolen trade, and soon rose to become one of the most opulent and respectable merchants in Dublin. His business was based in Pill Lane, now Chancery Street, before moving to 9 Lower Bridge Street in 1786. He married Eleanor Lucy Jackson in 1791. She was the daughter of the iron founder Henry Jackson, who, like Bond, was to become a leading united Irishman. Bond was a member early on in the movement to plan for a union of Ireland across religious lines, and to reform the Irish Parliament for an accountable government independent of the British Privy Council and Cabinet. When the Society of the United Irishmen formed in Dublin in 1791, Bond became a member. With barrister Simon Butler presiding, Bond was secretary of the meeting in February 1793 that passed resolutions which, in addition to the call for Catholic emancipation and parliamentary reform, condemned as unconstitutional the regressive measures of the government and deplored war against the new French Republic. As a consequence of this, he was summoned to appear before the bar of the House of Lords in Dublin, where, because of their defiance, both Bond and Butler were charged and convicted of libel, fined £500 and confined for 6 months to Newgate Prison. The United Irishmen resolved on an insurrection to depose the Crown's Dublin Castle Executive and the Protestant Ascendancy Lords and Commons, and to establish Ireland as an independent republic. Bond became a member of the United Irishmen's Northern Executive Committee and of the Leinster Directorate, the meetings of which were generally held at his house on Lower Bridge Street. We will pay no attention to any measure to which the Parliament of this kingdom may adopt to divert the public mind from the grand object we have in view, as nothing short of the entire and complete regeneration of our country can satisfy us. On the 19th of February 1798, at his house, this famous resolution was passed. Bond's house was surrounded by the military on the morning of the 12th of March 1798, and 14 members of the Leinster Directory were seized. This was because of the betrayal of Thomas Wren. In the early summer, the insurrection went ahead without them, but to defeat. Bond went to trial following the suppression of the rebellion. Despite the best efforts of his counsel, John Philpott Curran and Ponsonby, to discredit Reynolds' testimony, it was to no avail. On July the 22nd, 1798, Oliver Bond was convicted of treason and sentenced to hang. Thomas Addis Emmet and other state prisoners entered a compact with the government whereby, without incriminating further individuals, they agreed to testify on the activities of the Union Irishmen before a parliamentary committee and to accept permanent exile. This was done to prevent his execution. With the endorsement of Lord Cornwallis, the Commander-in-Chief Ireland, Bond's sentence was commuted. He survived, however, but 5 weeks, dying in prison of apoplexy on the 6th of September 1798, aged 36. Bond is buried in the cemetery of St Michan's Church in Dublin. His widow Lucy moved with her family from Ireland to the US and died at Baltimore in 1843. The Oliver Bond flats in the Liberties area of Dublin are named after him. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give a thumbs up, comment and subscribe.